Introduction. What if I told you that wisdom is not just something we learn, but something we can embody and live by every day? In today's video, we're diving into the teachings of Manjushri, the Buddha who represents the embodiment of wisdom itself. His wisdom cuts through the illusions of the mind, offering clarity, understanding, and the power to make decisions that lead us to a life of peace and purpose. Manjushri carries a flaming sword that symbolizes the sharpness of his intellect and the power of enlightenment to cut through ignorance. His teachings are a light in the darkness, guiding us toward truth and insight. Stay with us as we explore Manjushri's profound messages, and by the end of this video you'll see how these timeless lessons can transform your life. Make sure to watch until the end, because if we hit 5,000 likes, I'll share an even deeper journey into the wisdom of Vajrasattva, the purifier of karma. Let's get started on this journey of wisdom. Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom, is one of the most revered figures in Buddhist tradition. He represents the perfection of wisdom, which goes beyond intellectual understanding to encompass a deep, intuitive grasp of the true nature of reality. His wisdom is said to be like a sword that cuts through ignorance, allowing us to see things as they truly are. Manjushri's iconic image often depicts him holding a flaming sword in his right hand and a book representing the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra in his left. The sword symbolizes the ability to cut through delusions, while the book represents the wisdom that comes from deep spiritual insight. Together, they show us the power of wisdom to transform our minds and our lives. The name Manjushri means gentle glory, reflecting both the compassion and the wisdom that he embodies. His teachings encourage us to seek wisdom not just as knowledge, but as a way of life, a path that leads to enlightenment. Wisdom, according to Manjushri, is the ability to see beyond the surface of things and understand the deeper truths that lie beneath. Manjushri's wisdom is not something that is reserved for monks or scholars. It is available to everyone, no matter their background or experience. His teachings remind us that wisdom comes not from external knowledge alone, but from inner reflection and the ability to observe our own minds. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can begin to cultivate this wisdom in our daily lives. One of the central teachings of Manjushri is the importance of self-awareness. Without the ability to observe our own thoughts and emotions, we are easily led astray by ignorance and attachment. By developing a keen awareness of the mind, we can start to see how our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality. This is the first step in breaking free from the cycle of suffering. In the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, it is said that wisdom is like a lamp that lights the path ahead. Without it, we stumble in the dark, unable to see where we are going. Manjushri's teachings help us understand that true wisdom is not simply about gaining knowledge, it is about gaining insight into the nature of impermanence, interconnectedness, and the empty nature of all things. One of the most famous teachings attributed to Manjushri is his explanation of emptiness. In Buddhism, emptiness does not mean nothingness. Rather, it means that everything is interconnected and without a fixed, independent self. Understanding this helps us let go of attachments and see the world with clarity and compassion. This is a key aspect of Manjushri's wisdom. Manjushri's flaming sword is not just a symbol of intellectual sharpness. It represents the power of wisdom to transform our lives. When we are trapped in delusion, we act out of fear, attachment, and ignorance. But when we develop wisdom, we can see beyond these limitations and act from a place of clarity and understanding. This transformation leads to inner peace and liberation. In Buddhist practice, it is said that wisdom and compassion are like two wings of a bird. Both are necessary for reaching enlightenment. Manjushri, as the embodiment of wisdom, teaches us that wisdom without compassion is incomplete. To live wisely is to live with an open heart, aware of the suffering of others and committed to relieving it. Manjushri's teachings encourage us to cultivate the ability to question our assumptions and beliefs. Often, we take things for granted, accepting what we have been taught without examining it for ourselves. But true wisdom requires us to be inquisitive, to explore our own minds, and to seek out the truth for ourselves. This is how we cut through the illusions that keep us bound. One of the most powerful lessons we can learn from Manjushri is the importance of detachment. Wisdom allows us to see that much of our suffering comes from our attachment to things, whether they be people, ideas, or material possessions. When we let go of these attachments, we open ourselves up to a greater sense of freedom and peace. Manjushri's wisdom is closely connected to the practice of meditation. In meditation, we learn to quiet the mind and observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them. This practice allows us to see how our thoughts shape our experience of the world, and it helps us develop the clarity and insight that are at the heart of wisdom. The sharpness of the sword of wisdom cuts through the darkness of ignorance, revealing the light of truth. This quote attributed to Manjushri reminds us that wisdom is not passive. It is an active force that illuminates and transforms. By cultivating wisdom, we can navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity and confidence. Manjushri teaches that wisdom is not just about intellectual understanding, it is about direct experience. To truly understand the nature of reality, we must go beyond words and concepts and experience it for ourselves. This is why meditation is such an important part of the path to wisdom. It allows us to directly perceive the truth of impermanence, interconnectedness, and emptiness. One of the greatest challenges on the path to wisdom is learning to let go of our ego. The ego constantly seeks to assert itself, to hold on to its beliefs and attachments. But Manjushri teaches that true wisdom arises when we learn to let go of the ego and see the world from a place of selflessness. This is the key to overcoming suffering and achieving enlightenment. Manjushri's wisdom also teaches us about the importance of ethical conduct. Wisdom is not just about what we know, it is about how we live. To live wisely is to live in accordance with the Dharma, the universal law of truth and righteousness. By cultivating compassion, kindness, and integrity, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the universe. In many Buddhist traditions, Manjushri is seen as the protector of students and scholars. His wisdom helps those who seek to learn and grow, guiding them on their path to understanding. This is why he is often invoked by those who are on the spiritual path, as his wisdom provides the clarity and insight needed to progress. Manjushri's teachings remind us that the path to wisdom is not always easy. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to face our own ignorance. But the rewards of wisdom are great: inner peace, clarity, and a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. Manjushri's sword of wisdom cuts through the obstacles that stand in our way, leading us to enlightenment. Through the practice of meditation, study, and ethical living, we can begin to embody the wisdom that Manjushri represents. This wisdom helps us navigate the challenges of life with grace and understanding, and it leads us to a place of inner freedom and peace. Manjushri's teachings remind us that wisdom is not something we acquire, but something we uncover within ourselves. As we conclude this journey through the teachings of Manjushri, we are reminded that wisdom is not a destination, but a path. It is a lifelong practice of cultivating awareness, compassion, and understanding. Manjushri's wisdom lights the way, showing us how to live with clarity, purpose, and peace. In the words of Manjushri, may all beings be free from ignorance and discover the light of wisdom within themselves. Conclusion: thank you for exploring the profound wisdom of Manjushri, the embodiment of wisdom. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, if we reach 5,000 likes, I'll release a special video on Vajrasattva, the purifier of karma. Let's continue our journey of wisdom together.